Slurpy derp, my little chickens. I hope you're all Couple of shout outs before we begin. Big ups to all of you guys who've been commenting recently. I've had a lot of love. Thank you. Arnold Dawson, David Owen, James Hughes, my G, on Patreon as well. Arisha. I struggle with that one. I'm just going to say Arisha Jacarana 612. BC Barry 69. TC Productions, my G. E3, I think. Is that E3? Thank you, G. Great techniques here on the volume shaping video. Thank you. Q Frost 101. Big ups to you. It says excellent ear and personality, bro. Oh, that is very, very kind of you. That is that went straight to my heart. That one. Bobby Lime's music. Are you using a sock as a mic pop? Of course, my G. And it's even got the logo from my record label, Artificial Music, on it as well. MXTR16. Big fan of your work. What over-ear monitors using? These are the Audeze LCD2C, which I've used for years and I've had replaced, and I probably would never use anything else ever because they're the best in the world. And that's not because I work for Audeze, it's just because they're the best in the world. A little bit on the expensive side, but worth the investment 100% if you want to take your music serious. Fenix J says gold video. Onlyson as well, welcome to the channel, thank you. Madonki as well, he enjoyed the falafel bass. Anyway, today I've got a wonderful little way that you can spice up a drum break, spice up your drum group. I've just done it straight on a break. I've been enjoying being a bit lazy these days and just using drum breaks and seeing how I can go from there. But this track, well, it's not a track, it's just a drum break, but I've just thought of a way that I can spice up a drum break to make it a lot more interesting. And yeah, so let's talk about what I've done then. Essentially, it's something you could do in your own productions to give your drums more interest, and it's very, very easy. It doesn't require too much thought. And we'll play the drum break without the layers. And here is the drum break with extra spice on top. So really nice having these extra details and extra pickup points, little accents, all this kind of stuff, all in here. And it's really, really easy how I've managed to add these layers on, and it didn't take any energy really. All I did was I would run the main drum group through various different convolution settings and just listen out for particular little parts of the drums that then sound good through that particular setting. So we had one running through the Falkland Palace. These are all with the Kilohertz convolver. There are many other great convolvers around. I used to use one called Audio, I think it was Audio Easy Altiverb or something like that. Altiverb it was called. That was epic, but I don't have that anymore. The Melder Production, M Convolution Easy. There's a free one you can have if you don't have this. The only problem with that one is the sound. Some of the sounds are quite metallic, and they're not all as natural and nice as this one, for example, because obviously convolution are like pre-recorded samples of spaces, and so it depends on like the quality of the recording of the impulse responses as to what you're going to get. And with the Kilohertz one, they've obviously just done some really great recordings. So this is like the garage ramp one, and then over here this is another beverage. This one was really interesting. It had these really like crunchy little parts, and then I had another two. There's a cookie jar. This one had that sort of really tight resonant sound that I thought would be great for the snare, so that's why I used that one for like a snare layer that you can hear over here. Okay, the cookie jar. The beverage one before, I believe I used this little sound over here, which is basically, I think if I extend it out, yeah. So basically, sorry, I haven't really explained myself very well in this video. With each time that I've chosen the convolution, I've bounced out the whole drum break with the convolution on, then turned it off again on the original, and then with the one that I've bounced out, I've basically just chopped out little parts. And one easy way, how I just, if we take the snare one for example, how I did it in real life was I would have had my whole bounced out convolution layer like down here, and then I would just mute that, and then I would just like pick little parts out, bring it up onto a channel that's not muted, and hear how it sounds with the original, So I could, try some other parts here, or maybe I want to, go more. Okay, and that's the way that I then figure out which little part of the sample I want to use, like in what position, and I've moved them around as well. So I found these little reverse parts and things, and I've just put them like in different spots. And the last convolution setting that I used over here was, let's have a listen. Yeah, this is the live room. This is where I took the kick drum, and I just used that for a little room sound on the kick. And because it's got a lot of low end in, I EQ'd it out. But it's the same sample, It just has that like kind of overhead mic feeling to it now, So that helped to. If I take that back off again, that helped to give a bit of dimension to the kick. So we got a bit of the dimension, like room sound on the kick. Then we got that kind of almost like tight, resonant snare part as well. And all of these, I've done a minimal amount of processing on, like softened the transient on that one, took out some of the low end on the top one. They both have a little bit of extra reverb on. Then this reverse sound here. This was just, one of the convolutions where the reverb was quite long, and I chopped it, and it's almost like a little pickup kind of thing, And then same for this other reverse. It's another kind of pickup note, but it's just a bit brighter. Okay, but same kind of concept, doing a little pickup before the downbeat. And then this is the hat noise part where I've taken one of the longer convolution parts, and it has like a really overly delayed, splayed out kind of hat like delay reverb thing. Okay, and by the way, I'm not good at explaining what's going on in my life. Disclaimer. No, but that texture, I took out a bit of low end on that. But that it just adds. It was almost like almost like an atmospheric thing, like a little atmospheric edge that adds like certain depth, because the whole point of these layers is to add like accents of depth. That's what I might call this video, accents of depth. Drum spice, accents of depth, something like that. The whole point is, because the drum loop on its own is fairly dry. Like, you've got these kind of hat things here which have actually a fair bit of depth on them already in this break, because this is just quite a good break. So it's got actually quite a nice sound to it already to begin with. So it's a good break to begin with, right? But these layers are adding just extra accents of depth in certain spots. That's basically it. And it was not like I really thought about it while I was doing it. I just literally, as you see, did 5 different convolution versions of it, and then chopped little parts here and there, and then just placed them around in a part where it accents the groove. So it's just a little fun, simple exercise that you can try out on one of your breaks if you don't want to make a whole track, if you just want to have a bit of fun, or if you want to end up using it in a track as well. Then you've got a drum beat which has like a bit more detail and is a bit more unique and has a bit of an edge to it. And how easy is that to do? Just like cycling through a bunch of different convolutions, bouncing it out, and then just picking little spots. And obviously, you know, the tone through the convolution is going to be very different. So you've created like samples that are different, so they will fit back with your drums like easily without phasing or stuff like that. You know, they're like new sounds, but they came from the original, so they're also going to like timbre wise like tend to fit in quite nicely. So that's just a little way that if you want to spice up your drum break, if you feel like it could have a bit more unique edge to it, that's one way you could do it. And I think that, for example, I would leave those layers all on in this track if I was making it, and I would continue now to add in some bass. Anyway, yeah, just a little creative video for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed that. As always, yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out my website if you want samples as well. I've got quite a lot of drum samples in my 2 big sample packs that I've got on there. Obviously, phase plant presets, vital presets, and vital presets. And yeah, come along to Patreon as well. We've got almost 250 members now. You can actually join for free and get loads of free downloads and everything on Patreon. It's just a platform that allows me to like upload files and things like that. So you can join it now already for free, and there's loads of like free downloads to grab there. So definitely worth a shout. Anyway, I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.